And this is an opportunity. 27 seconds now.
27 seconds, that's a sizable margin when you've got this sort of talent up front. He's hit form at a spectacular time, the Portuguese, Rui Costa. Has a look at Zakarin, and they're sharing the duties at the moment. It could come down to a two-man race, and that's Dumoulin just deciding to, at the moment, rehydrate, quite frankly. And this is the reason why he's got an awful lot of suffering going on around him. And Kruijswijk looks like it's not going to be his day. But whose? And when does Quintana and Contador have another go? There's Fabio Aru in the colours of Astana as well, right-hand side, in about position 4 from this group as we speak, alongside Nibali, his great nemesis. Apparently they're on much more amenable terms now that they're not sharing the same team. Brian, this eases up. They've just about gone through. They're just about to come to the steepest section. Once they've done that, it flattens out, goes into a little dip before it kicks up to the line, and they're going to hit it first, the breakaway, naturally, with 16-second advantage.
The thing is, on the form guides, Quintana has got probably the best form on paper coming into this race. He could be throwing the race away.
Yep.
It's now 33 seconds back. He has to make an effort. He has to kind of forget about Contador. Contador is just using that experience, just sitting there. Well, it's up to you. You're the favourite of this race. It's entirely up to you. And playing that game. The longer he plays that game, the more time that these riders are getting in the front with 4 kilometres to go. As you said, coming up to the steepest part of the climb very soon.
Contador's done this before as well. Both he and Chris Froome essentially stared each other out of contention in the Dauphiné a couple of years ago. It can happen, and you just get too much talent almost, and nobody wants to be made a fool of by those around him, just offering up too much assistance by going for it, and then knowing that those around you are capable of following on and maybe just leaning on you a little bit. These guys are leaning on each other and doing a great job at the moment. Shoulders to the grindstone, if you like. Zakarin and Rui Costa having a fantastic run. As it stands at the moment, our prediction of Rui Costa doing well today is certainly going to come true, but can Zakarin deny him, and will Dumoulin manage to bridge? I've seen Dumoulin dig very, very deep on so many occasions, not least, of course, on the Vuelta, but he's done it even in the Tour and other races, and there he is, the lone rider. Others I might be fearful for, but not him. Aru just starts to pick it up, and there's Quintana, and I think he's decided that he's going to listen to Brian and have a go here. Bardet is checking over his shoulder for AG Tour La Mondiale in the brown and white. He looks like he may well be stirred to do something. Not sure whether Contador is just kidding a little bit at the moment, but he's usually out of the saddle at a moment like this, and when he's tired, he sits in it, and he's plumb in the saddle at the moment, but that could be some kidology, and they're weaving all over the road at the moment, and I'm afraid they're weaving a tapestry of disaster, because everyone else, they're going to go away with this. 37 seconds now, those up the road. I think they've accepted that this might well all draw to a close. They'll get to the flatter section, and we know that Costa and Zakarin can go quickly when they need to, and they're looking at each other now. This looks like the battle for the win.
Tactic has been played now by Trek Segafredo. Mollema is going on the attack now from with Gaster, trying to come across to a couple of riders in front. Matthias Frank also with AG2R changed teams from IAM last year. So Contador has probably said to Bauke Mollema, try and put the pressure on Quintana. Quintana has to turn around to Fernandez, who's there, and say, look, Fernandez, you have to ride. We're still waiting for the next big attack, but he's on the radio. He's waiting for Fernandez, who's the only Movistar rider left in this front group. But Trek can just sit back now with Contador, because Mollema is now distanced up the road now.
Phenomenal. A great Rubik's Cube, if you like. I didn't mean to say that. I meant a curate's egg. But anyway, a puzzle certainly, and hard to figure out. And in fact, they're going to start just having a go themselves. And Vincenzo Nibali is just tired of the battle, the stare down essentially. There is Quintana, suddenly comes into your screen, and he's just paying too much attention to Alberto Contador. He should have been doing it himself. These guys are going to hit the flatter section. There's Tom Dumoulin. Now, Tom Dumoulin is a great time trialist as well as a climber. So there he is in the black and white. It may well be that writ large, I can tell you, by this man. If he gets within sight of Zakarin and Rui Costa, it's 20 seconds gap at the moment. Still with another chaser, as you can see, but frankly, I think it's going to be about the duo up front. Brave work being put in here by Mollema, but it's the big disappointment is Contador versus Quintana, who've kind of stared each other out of contention here. 2.8. Oh, and suddenly Quintana decides there's an alarm bell going off here, and Contador just sticks with him. My goodness, Alaphilippe's also very much engaged as they bridge over to Nibali in very short order. And look at this, that's Kruijswijk in the yellow there, and not that far to go. They found, what, 3, 4, 5 seconds very quickly, and Quintana continues to put on the hurt. Contador stays with him. Alaphilippe's trying to stay in the frame as well. Also joining that's George Bennett having a big old dig here as well. For Lotto Jumbo. Alaphilippe comes alongside. I think he's possibly just looking for some big scalps to take, and Quintana looks disdainfully at Contador as if to say, well, if you share some duties, maybe we could have this one, but it's not going to happen for us right now. And in fact, they're way back, and it looks like it's going to be between the two who are up front with 2.5 to go, and the road is about to ease off for them.
Yeah, Zakarin finished 22nd in the race in Valencia that Quintana won, so he's turned that around, especially on today's stage, and it looks as if Rui Costa and Zakarin could be battling out for the stage. I don't think Tom Dumoulin is going to make it across to them, but this is the card played by Trek Segafredo, which puts all the onus down to Quintana to bring everybody back. Only 2.4 to go, still very doable, but it's looking more likely that Rui Costa and Zakarin could be battling out for the stage win.
Well, Bauke Mollema went superbly in San Juan, so he's on form, the 30-year-old. Let's see, and there is Bardet, who just decides he's potentially got caught out by a group of talent that's just looking at each other, dwelling on that, and Quintana just rides over to the back wheel of Bardet. Nibali there as well, and Contador. Look at the talent here, and Alaphilippe, who I said was freshest of everybody, decides that he's going to at least get a decent position out of this, and away he goes. Well, he was the freshest, so why didn't he impose himself before, knowing that these guys are going to stare each other? Surely he should have worked that out over the last 800 metres or so. Meanwhile, it's between these two, Zakarin and Rui Costa, but Dumoulin's closing with 13 seconds now, but I think it's all too late with 1900 metres to go. I think Dumoulin is going to wonder whether he shouldn't have gone a little bit earlier. So many big names have been caught out by waiting and watching Quintana and Contador. We said there could be a surprise today, and I think we're going to get it, Brian.
Yeah, Dumoulin is slowly coming across, but he's on his own. It's very difficult to come across, and what energy has he got to have when he does get across to Zakarin and Rui Costa? For me, Rui Costa is the fastest in the sprint. If they work together and don't mess about, they should be battling it out for the stage win in GC. But unfortunately for the favourite in this race, Quintana, looks as if he's thrown it away. Well, Trek Segafredo, I've got Mollema in front.
Oh, he's looking for his teammate, latches on and goes for it. That was the most telegraphed move that you could possibly want. But over a minute down, it's only going to be positional play for them. Zakarin takes the front right now. Now, it does twist at the end, and it can get nasty on the barriers if you're trying to go round a man. Let's see how this one pans out. Dumoulin's holding at 13 seconds, I'm afraid. He can go quickly, though, and he's time trialed himself back into contention, but it's solid at 13. Moves to 12. 1300 metres to go. The guys out front can't afford to cat and mouse. He's going to come off this little bit of curving, and 11 seconds now, still holding at 1.3 kilometres to go. It's they're picking up pace, though. They'll hit the Flamme Rouge. 10 seconds. Dumoulin's eating into the gap. Mollema's been left behind, as you can see. So can Dumoulin catch the pair up front? If they dare look at each other and start to lean on each other, then Dumoulin may well come through. Let's see how far off he is by the time we get there. Still think that Rui Costa has got this one in the bag, and here we are. So Costa versus Zakarin. There's the pair of them. 8 seconds now back to Tom Dumoulin as he continues to close down. 7 seconds only. They don't know he's there. Maybe they're being told on the radio, but I'm not sure that their teams are listening to us. It's within sight. Kilometre to go. Tom Dumoulin could mug the pair of them here.
Yeah, but Rui Costa and Zakarin are thinking a little bit of the finish now. Tom Dumoulin's giving a 100% effort to try and come back to them. I don't think he's going to have enough. Rui Costa just looking around. He is the fastest of the riders in the front. Mollema trying his hardest to come back back as well. So everybody's 100%, but I think Rui Costa is just saving that little bit to make sure he gets the stage and gets that red jersey.
Definitely. Zakarin it is that's been tempted to go first. It was down to 6 seconds. He was the man that looked back as well, saw that Dumoulin was closing, and it's back out to 9 seconds. Dumoulin's done for, I'm afraid, with 700 metres to go. Zakarin's grinding it at the moment. Rui Costa's got to find something and tries to get on his back wheel. If they start to zigzag, Tom Dumoulin can still come back. Just ask Chris Froome. He's seen him do that in the past as well. Never underestimate Tom Dumoulin and his credentials at the very last as we look back to the big names, but they're going to be a minute down, I'm afraid. That's Mollema at 21 seconds. They're a minute and 2 down. I'm afraid that Dumoulin has finally accepted his fate as they come to this little section. They will now go into a little bowl and then pick up a bit of bangle-dangle here. Not very aero at all but from Zakarin. Costa staying where he needs to be on his back wheel at the moment. Here's the barriers that we're worried about. Dangles a leg, it looks like, as he just eases, lets the bike freewheel, puts something back into his legs. This is going to be a fascinating one. They're running out of meters before the very last, and here goes Rui Costa around the outside. I'm afraid Zakarin, it's not going to be so sweet for him. Here it is. Rui Costa buries himself, does it for the home team, unless Zakarin can get back at him at the very, very last. Final little turn that spelled disaster for Mount Powell's in the past. Not going to be disaster this time by. It's going to be glory for UAE Abu Dhabi as he crosses the line, takes it in fine style. Rui Costa turns a runner-up in Oman into victory here, and with such a margin, it could well be the title. Tom Dumoulin comes across the line. Rui Costa takes it ahead of Zakarin. Tom Dumoulin there, and everybody else can actually be shamefaced around the dinner table tonight. There'll be a few bread buns get hurled about, I am sure, as to who is to blame for this one. Mollema comes across the line. Clever stuff by Trek Segafredo, but they engaged the strategy far too late for Contador, who was able to sit in behind Quintana, who frankly didn't look interested. Here is Alaphilippe then, just has a look. That's the challenging looks of Fabio Aru, especially after the incline that he's just taken on. And it'll be Alaphilippe that crosses the line. Micah's also involved here. There's Kruijswijk. And, well, goodness me, Pozzovivo and the rest of the big names. And here is Quintana, as if to say, well, I may not have won it myself, but at least I've beaten some big names, including Contador, he seemed to be most worried about. Bardet also crosses the line. There is Contador. And here comes the rest. In the end, it took a brave move, and bravest of all was Rui Costa. Well, we'll get confirmation quickly, I'm sure, of this result. No doubt about our winner. Fine win as well, Brian.
Yeah, fantastic win, taking it from the front, deciding not to play games with everybody else. And I tell you what, if it wasn't for Zakarin and joining them, others would have come across, because Zakarin actually helped Rui Costa take this race lead and take that win there. He was strong in the end. Tom Dumoulin couldn't come across. Bauke Mollema couldn't come across. Bauke Mollema has already won a race this year in Argentina, but this is a dream start. You couldn't ask anything better. Rui Costa showing some good form of late at the start of the season, and to come here, their home race, and I'm going to say that they've got the win now. It's because I can't see anything bar a crash or an incident taken away from Rui Costa, but to the biggest race in this part of the world, to take the win here and to take the jersey into tomorrow's stage, it's just a dream for that team.
We look forward to tomorrow. We're at the Yas Marina Formula One circuit, don't forget. It'll be about the sprinters tomorrow. A chance for Mark Cavendish to take a second stage in this race, where he is, of course, the ambassador for the Tour. He'll be looking for that. Also, points jerseys up for grabs, and the black intermediate sprints jersey. Likewise, Tom Dumoulin, if Zakarin hadn't been there, he'd have had a chance. And frankly, I think if it hadn't been for the pair up front, Dumoulin and Alaphilippe could have been duking out in the same kind of scenario. This is how it stacks up. Rui Costa takes it ahead of Ilnur Zakarin. Tom Dumoulin in third place, 10 seconds adrift. Bauke Mollema, Julien Alaphilippe rounding out the top 5. And then Aru, Micah, and the rest. And here's our winner. Well, apologies for the lack of sound. We have a connection issue, clearly. Well, a question of what might have been for some of the big names in this race. Quintana and Contador wanting to offer each other very little today, I'm afraid.
Yeah, for me, that was kind of disappointing to see. Two big heroes, and the team have done a lot of work today, riding at the front pretty much all day. It was set up really well for Movistar right at the bottom. Benati took it, Quintana onto the climb, he attacked, and then it was just game playing after that. And I think Quintana and Movistar kind of threw that away. Whether Quintana wasn't maybe in top form, whether Contador, after his crash the other day, wasn't in top form, but they've come out this with fourth with Mollema. But what a day it was for the United Arab Emirates team, this new sponsor that have come in to take over from Lamprey, come to their home race and win the stage, and now leader.
Well. We're going to be taking our leave off the top of the mountain up here as our goat herders here continue to shine brightly. Shame that Alberto Contador was not one of those. So tomorrow we will enjoy our run around the Yas Maria circuit. Definitely about the fast men. One of whom, of course, used to be Brian Smith. He'll be here. So will I. Thanks for your company today. We look forward to tomorrow.